Hi, everyone. Great to be here. Thanks for hosting us here in San Diego for a few weeks. I'm Eynat, CEO, co-founder of Papya Global. Papya is an Israeli startup, Israeli unicorn. We raised $450 million to date from leading US investors. Recent valuation was $3.7 billion. And we are proud to be an Israeli company headquartered in Israel, with more than 300 people currently in Israel as part of our almost 1,000 employees globally. And in the last 7 years, I've been busy building Papya and raising those 3 great kids. And in the last 6 months, we are busy, all of us in Israel, in the tech industry, and in quite a lot of other sectors, defending Israel. Defending Israel in order to assure that we can continue as a democracy, we can continue having a country that is an enabler for us to actually raise amazing companies in Israel that actually help us to bring US investors and other investors and to give them the confidence that they need in order to continue investing in the Israeli tech. And why Israeli tech is so important? Because Israeli tech represents 30% of the exports that we currently have in Israel. Moreover, Israeli tech is the future of our kids and their kids in Israel. It's with Israeli tech that we bring eventually the future careers. We bring people that will be the future entrepreneur and will be able to bring Israel to be in the forefront of the world in terms of technology, in terms of innovation, in terms of growth. Last 6 months has been challenging. When we started this tech group that is fighting against this government, I never thought that this is going to be a journey that is going to last for so long. I thought that we are coming, we're going to raise our voice, we're going to explain with quite a lot of rationale behind it why eventually jeopardizing Israel democracy is something that can be fatal for the country. And we will have reasonable people that will listen to us and will understand that eventually we need to keep the status quo in Israel. We need to keep the reality where there are a lot of people that are working very hard, paying quite substantial taxes, happy to serve this country in the military, afterwards on reserves training, and eventually also build substantial companies in Israel. And we were very surprised, unfortunately we're still surprised, by the fact that nobody cares. No one in this government wants to listen. In the last 6 months, me, not only as a tech pioneer, but also as a woman, honestly, I've been facing the worst moments of my life as an Israeli citizen in this country, seeing how this government, day after day, declaring more and more rules that seem small, but if you're looking at it, are just bringing us decades backwards in terms of women's rights, in terms of just rights, equal rights for everyone, diversity, gays, minorities, anyone around us. And these recent days, which are honestly very, very hard for me, mainly being in a distance from the country, from seeing my friends and the amazing energy of the people of Israel, just showing us that this government just lost any sense and any connections to the reality. My dear spouse here, he is a pilot in the military, or used to be a pilot in the Israeli Air Force. He also sees his friends currently signing petitions that they are not going to volunteer, they are not going to serve dictatorship. Don't let the Israeli government confuse you. All of the people that are doing reserve training in Israel volunteer to do so. They do so because they love the country. They won't do so if they're gonna know that they're gonna serve the wrong interest, if they're gonna know that somebody will use their expertise and eventually will send them to do things that does not serve Israel as a democracy. Now this is coming to your part. What can you do? We need you. We need your support. We need US very, very, very strong voice against the things and the actions that are currently being done in Israel. We hear it more and more unfortunately, this probably the only way out of it is going to be through a very major crisis. I don't know if you read the recent news, New York Times already, with about 4 different opinion leaders stating that US should not support Israel in the same way that they are supporting it, declaring Benjamin Netanyahu as the worst danger currently and the biggest danger to Israel. They are all right. We need to assure that no one is supporting Israel if Israel is not going on the right phase. We need to assure that we don't give this government the legitimacy to continue as act as they are, because this will lead to a place where we will find ourselves in the very near future, not far from the state where Russia is, where Turkey is, where China is. A country that cannot afford herself. We are not in the size of Russia. We are not in the size of China. We are not even the size of Turkey. Israel cannot afford herself to be isolated from the world. And this is where we need you, and this is where every voice matters. Please, just share it, just spread it. I've been talking with friends, with investors, with quite a lot of people, and sometimes I hear the voices, we thought that everything already has been sorted. We thought that everything is over already. They don't understand the way that Israel is currently, the way that we are going to. Those days, this week, is probably the roughest and the hardest days that we've been facing in the last 6 months. Those are very, very, very critical days. We need everyone's support, everyone around you. Just share the voice. Eventually, this will lead the impact. Every voice, since we started this journey, it was a very, very small group. This week only, I've been in the first group, chat group, that 5 people decided that they are going to march to Jerusalem. This march, I don't know if you are following the news, has been led to hundreds of thousands of people marching, cars driving. People are currently just staying in Jerusalem in a huge camp tent in order to assure that they are not changing and they are not moving until things will change. So the power of the people is really making the difference. And you are also part of this power of the people. I know that you are far away from Israel, but your heart is probably there if you're here. So please use it, and let's fight for Israel democracy. Thank you.
Democratia, democratia, democratia.